Hello everyone. Am I audible to you all? Okay, so we'll start very soon. Let's just wait for others to join. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Control Alt Act. I'm really glad to have you all here for this amazing session. So, today's session is all about report making and submission to officials, which is an important skill that will help you present your findings in a clear, structured, and professional way. So, before I introduce today's speaker, I would like to talk about the eligibility issues you all are facing. Um, Most of you are concerned that the list still show when you have submitted your third week assignment, it still shows that you are might be eligible and not completely eligible for the certification. So the data is not updated yet for the third week. When the data will be updated, we'll let you know very soon. And Without making any further delays, I would like to invite today's speaker, Mr. Yugal Pathak. He is a digital forensics and incident response professional with over 4.5 years of experience across corporate and law enforcement domains. With his expertise in cyber investigation, evidence handling, and training, Mr. Pathak has been guiding professionals to strengthen their knowledge and practice in digital forensics. So, without taking much time, let's welcome Mr. Yugal Pathak and begin today's session. Yugal sir, you can start.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for introducing me. And yeah, it's again an honor to again present. So first session was also mine, and today I'm also giving the last session on reporting. Now, if we talk that reporting is really a very important part when we are talking about any kind of investigation, whether it be forensics, whether it be cyber security, whether it be anything. Reporting is a very important part because reporting gives us a clear insight on what was investigated, and this report is only something which will be later taken if the case goes into the court. It will be also submitted to the law enforcement. If there is any regulatory agency, it will be submitted there. So yes, a report is something which is important part everywhere. Okay. So shall we start?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Okay. Yeah. Is my screen visible now? As you see my screen, please tell me. Hello, host. Is my screen visible? Yes or no? Please tell me.
Mm, sir.
Is my screen visible? Yes or no?
No, sir, screen is not visible.
Not visible. Okay. Please respond when I'm asking something. Sometimes it feels like I'm talking to walls. At least when I'm asking question, I don't need to shout 4 or 5 times. Please respond.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Is my screen coming up?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay. So yeah, today's topic is what? You said something? Yeah. So let's start. Today's topic is effective OSINT reporting, where we are creating a comprehensive report, okay, which will show what we have investigated and how we have investigated. And ultimately, this report is also helpful for us if we want to take our investigation results to some corporate level, or if you want to present it before the law enforcement. So this is something which will help us out. So let's see what are the important aspects, and then I'll also try to show you a practical report so that you come to know that how the reporting is being done. So let's start first with the basics and basic topic about it. Now, the first thing comes understanding of foundations and responsibilities. So OSINT is basically a critical process where it involves gathering intelligence, then analyzing the intelligence, and then you are disseminating some kind of that. So, for example, if I have any kind of OSINT assignment, for example, I got a profile and I need to find out about that person, the maximum information available, or there is something like I got to know about some person who is usually someone who is stalking someone or doing something. So in that case, what I will do, I'll be having an assignment to find out the maximum information about that person, whether his Instagram ID, his using his email or something, or there is some kind of assignment where you have to ascertain the communication of some person with other person. So in that all cases, OSINT will be involved, right? Now, OSINT is not just something where we are just using the tool. It also involves ensuring the information what we have given is right or not. Because see, when you are doing OSINT, we are basically relying on the open source data available on public space. Now, that data mostly comes from data leaks. That data mostly comes from public record. That data mostly comes from the files and database which is present open source. But that information sometimes can be deceptive also, because there are a lot of examples where people are laying honey traps just to make sure that anyone who is trying to spy on them is trapped in that information. You will never get to know, you will never get to know that what is the actual person who did it, or who is the actual person behind it, because sometimes it may be possible that if for example I Yugal Pathak want to hide my identity, I may lay some kind of publicly available data about me on internet, so people believe that I am something else rather than what I am really, because people would never come to know what I am really until they do not verify me physically, right? But I actually manipulate my digital identity. I post fake photos. I post, I make fake Instagram profile. Someone who gets my Facebook and Instagram, he thinks that I am someone who is a doctor and who is working with some hospital doing this doing that. I also cultivate those sounds, that sound, so people believe that yes, I am a doctor, I am posting content and I'm doing something. So whatever OSINT someone would done, he would think that I am a doctor. Okay, but actually I'm not a doctor, I'm someone who is a cybersecurity professional trying to hide my identity. So what is this? This is something where we are people are cultivating information. They are cultivating information, and mostly you find they are trying. It's sponsored actor. For example, you are trying to one. who is a person who is a state sponsored actor from some
Excuse me,
country,
Yugal sir.
or he is someone who is a professional criminal, a terrorist or someone. Yeah.
Very sorry to disturb you, but your voice
Hello.
is lagging.
My voice is lagging. Okay, hold on a second. Let me check. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So where we were? Yeah. So for example, I have tried to cultivate information about me. So for example, now when you are searching, mostly some people who are involved in any illegal activities, like they are the drug mafias, or someone who is a seasoned criminal, or who is someone who is a seasoned ethical hacker or cyber criminals. These people are there who are usually cultivating their identities, fake identities, so that people do not get their real identity, and they are someone who will be basically fooling you by playing a propaganda of making some fake information about them. So in that case, if you give some report to some agency and the agency believes on your report and takes some action, that action will definitely fail, because the information that you provided was not the right information. So before making a report, you should be 100 or 200% sure actually whatever information you are giving, that is actually right. And secondly, whatever information you are giving, that information is actually the legible information from a legible source. So whenever we are giving some information OSINT, we are usually also verifying the source from where we are giving it, and we need to mention it into our report sometimes. Okay, now let's move next. Now, next is the report should include three things: principle of clarity, accuracy, and responsible disclosure. Now, what is clarity? Clarity means whatever information is presented in OC report is easily understood by the audience, minimizing misunderstanding and allowing the straightforward communication of findings. What does that mean? I, for example, right, this person has an Instagram account and he posts every day about medical content, or he posts every day about some medicine journal. Now, what this has to do with my case? I should not leave the decision of deciding what it has to do with my case on my client. I should actually be the one who should be clarifying that why I am actually trying to give this information to my client. What is the purpose of giving it? And if I am giving such kind of any intelligence information or OSINT information, what is the benefit the client can make from it? He can establish whether his profession, or he can establish whether his qualification, his eligibility, his work timings, workplace, or whatever I want to give. So whatever information I'm giving there, it should not be like I'm just giving a clue to the person, and it should be left on the person to decide what does he mean. Because see, if I'm an investigator, I have my mindset from which mindset I have done the investigation, what is my purpose to give the information to other person. Now I should not leave that on other person, that whatever he perceives it to be, because everyone's perception is different. Some person may perceive it as positive, some person may perceive it as negative, some person may even not understand what is the meaning of it. So you are giving the information, it may be valuable, but if the other person did not understood it, that information may go waste. That can be one cause. Second thing now comes accuracy. Accuracy means, for example, if I'm giving an information, it should be accurate, because whenever you are giving information, there can be something where physical actions may also be taken on it, and sometimes your information can be used for conducting more reconnaissance or more kind of investigation. So if you are giving some information, make sure it is accurate. So it is always preferred to verify it from 2 to 3 multiple sources, and if not multiple sources, then better you should mention in your report that whatever information is provided in this clause is subject to physical verification or subject to verification from other sources, so that when the person tries to act on the information, he is actually aware of it, that he is trying to verify the information manually also before directly acting on it. So that should be one thing which should be preferred. Okay, now comes the third point. What is the third point we need to talk about? The third point is principle of responsible disclosure. Now, when I'm giving some information about some person, it should be completely confidential. Because, for example, if you are given an assignment which is something related to national security, which is something related to law enforcement or crime or something, you should not be the one who should be disclosing it publicly. So, meaning that there is some kind of assignment which has been given to you where you have to find the identity or establish the identity of a criminal. Okay, so you should not be the one before the case is closed, publicizing that as your finding on LinkedIn, or posting on social media that I did this, or I am working with this case, or I got a legible information, calling your friends and telling, oh shit, I got to know this about this. So that should not be your attitude. Why? Because the information which you are giving may be confidential, may be used for real time action, and may be something based on which a lot of actions or initiatives of the law enforcement or the agency may depend. So whatever information you are giving should be actually confidential and limited to you till it is not told to you that the assignment is completed or over. And even if the assignment is over, you should always keep confidentiality with your work because of the nature of work. Because if the threat actors come to know that you are someone who is trying to spy on them and you got this information, sometimes you can also be in danger. Okay, so that should be a nature of your work, that it should be always kept secretive and limited to the placeholders where it should be disclosed. Now come next. Now tracking outcomes after publication. Now if you publish a report, there is the evaluation of effectiveness. Now how much effective your information was and what impact did it create, that is being evaluated based on the time, and with time when the actions will be taken, you have to actually evaluate and wait for it. If something comes for any change or any additional information is required, or something comes back to be reevaluated, or you get a opinion that whatever you shared is the old information, now the current status has changed, so now you need to dig more deeper to get the current status of the situation. So you should wait for it. You should not actually celebrate your victory immediately after giving the information. You should actually wait for the confirmation from the client. And once the client is completely satisfied, and client says okay, for next 1 week or 2 weeks no query comes, then you can say that my work is completely completed. Because if the client is anyway unsatisfied, you will not get the payout of whatever you have done. Okay, now the publication date is the initial release of the OSINT report to the targeted audience, making the start of the tracking process. Okay. Then comes 1 week after the publication. Now, what is 1 week after the publication? After the publication of the report, there will be something like the client will give you one reaction that, okay, how important the information was, how useful the information is. If, for example, the information is very good, but client does not find it much useful, there can be queries where he'll require you to find some specific information about it. Because see, if the scope is defined earlier, then it is perfectly okay. If the scope is not defined and it is asked to find out most information or the maximum details about something, then you will be giving an open-ended report. Now, in open-ended report, usually it happens that sometimes the changes come, and sometimes the client may demand that yes, whatever information you have given is valuable, but this information is not enough for me to act. I require some additional matrix or additional information on it. So there will be some changes into the report, or he asks you to change the format of the report because it is not acceptable as per his policy, as per his client, or he may provide you some specific format, or he may say I need to take time to discuss it with my board, with my company, with my organization, and then I will revert back to you whatever is the impact or how much better is the information. So this is a 1 week discussion. Now, after 1 week, uh, more time goes on and it becomes 1 month. Now, in 1 month, there will be a thorough evaluation of any changes or action taken as a result of the report, including media coverage, community discussion. So, for example, you disclosed, a secretive information about some drug scandal. After 1 month, you may find that media news emerged that some intelligence information was received to the police and police conducted the raids and the persons are arrested and everything is done. So after 1 month, you may sometimes see the impact of the information or intelligence you shared. And that will be the period where you actually get to know that yes, the information which you shared was legible, was acted upon, and is now completely closed. Okay. Now comes 3 to 4 months. Now, if it is a long-term project, then there will be a comprehensive follow-up to access long-term effect. For example, if it is a big assignment, for example, a complete area where multiple peddlers have to be, identified, or there are multiple chains which are involving a big crime racket where you'll have to find things. So in that case, after 3 to 4 months, also things will be still hustling, and in that hustle, what will be there? Like organization or the government or the law enforcement was able to crack down 10, but 5 or 6 are left, or some of them actually escaped, or information was changed. Some of them got to know that some intelligence is being gathered and they managed to hide themselves, or they change the locations or do something. So all that will be discussed with you, follow-ups will be taken, and you'll be asked to dig more further, or it becomes a kind of job. You'll be then temporarily being asked to work with them. You'll be temporarily engaged with them. You'll be part of that mission, that assignment, and you will be working with them temporarily for a long time, 3 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year, and that may include a good handsome amount of payment. Plus, they may actually involve then the some public, data gathering also. For example, like sometimes it is just a normal OSINT conducted manually using tools. Sometimes then it later also includes something like human intelligence being added to it. So you are the OSINT person who is gathering the OSINT report. Then that report is being sent to the physical uh, verification branch, or some physical intelligence agencies. They are actually manually verifying it. Based on that, then you are asked to gather more information. You get more phone numbers, you get more accounts, you get more details, and then the impact starts. Okay, so that is there. So this is complete cycle after reporting. Like when you launch a report, after that things can go from 1 week to 1 month to even a year. And sometimes things are there. I have seen like when there are good planned missions, things also keep going like for years. Like for 2 to 3 years, the OSINT analyst was being completely connected with the organization. He or she was working with them. There were a lot of intelligence being gathered, lot of information disseminated, and the assignment goes for long term. They are being engaged as a contract, or based on some assignment, and they are doing a good work, and they are being paid also handsomely for that. So yes, OSINT work can last from even a 1 day to 1 week to 1 month to sometimes long term assignments also. And in that cases, whenever you are doing a report, so you should not think that the moment I launch the report, the assignment is over. Sometimes it can be a long term affair. Now comes enhancing future OSINT investigation through reflection. Now, what is reflection? Reflective practices are basically very, very important. Reflection is basically when you get to know that what were the outcomes, processes, and like what are your areas of strength. For example, you give a report and you come to know what were the outcomes of your report. So you'll be able to actually evaluate what things you mentioned very well, like you are good in social media OSINT, or your information was very legible about phone number OSINT, or your information was very legible about some kind of specific data or a specific person, but about two other persons your information was not that legible. So now you have the scope of improvement. You now know what are your areas where you need to work on, where are the areas where you have failing to give a legible information, and which are the areas you are giving good information. So that actually creates a path which areas you need to learn more, which areas you need to learn more skills, because OSINT is all about skill. It's a practical domain. There nothing is like a specified course. It is a complete practical thing.
Sir, you also?
Yeah.
You were
Hello.
muted.
No, I'm not muted. Is my voice not coming?
No, sir.
One
Now
second.
is it? You can just
Now it is.
carry.
Now I'm audible.
Yeah,
I guess it was a network issue. I'm sorry.
yeah. No problem, sir.
Yeah. So whenever you are evaluating your reports, whenever you are checking the reports, it should be the most important concern that what areas you are good at and what areas you are not bad at. For example, no one can be good in all areas. Like if I'm talking about OSINT also, some can be one who are very good in social media OSINT. Some can be good in image OSINT. Some can be good who are very good in information gathering using some kind of email or mobile numbers. Some are very good with some kind of dark web OSINT. So it can be a specific domain where you are very good at. And whenever you are analyzing your reports and works or the outcomes you got from your client during your assignments, you'll be actually able to define which areas are your strengths, and then you can dig deeper into the same area. So later you become an expert of area. For example, the people who are working with dark web are specifically designed and they are working in dark web only, so they'll gain more skills into that domain also. So if you're someone who is good with image OSINT, he'll be learning more of image and video analysis tools. Someone who is good with social media OSINT, he'll be creating more social media accounts, creating more sock puppets, and he'll be expanding his network much. Then he can go for multiple social media application like Signal, Telegram, and he can discover more forums. So that depends on you which domain you want to choose, because inside OSINT also there is a large domain, and some people are there who are gathering OSINT about malwares, about threat actors, about a specific nation. For example, if you know Chinese language, you are doing someone who is doing OSINT regarding China. If you know Urdu, you can do regarding Pakistan. So yes, government of India is also engaging some of these people who are actually working in the defense organizations and who are doing this work. So if you know a specific language, if you know a specific region, if you know about specific domain, about specific person, you can be someone who can be an expert in this domain. And these experts are definitely hired by the government, because these people are only one who will be regularly gathering intelligence along with the physical intelligence. We also get physical intelligence from intelligence agencies, but today cyber intelligence is very important. So cyber intelligence has two channels. One is threat intelligence platforms, which are usually your SIM, SOC, and everything, where malware intelligence comes. And the second one is OSINT. This OSINT is only something where we are getting the threat intelligence from whatever is happening inside our nearby nations. Like there was a Nepal issue. So many people were there who had already predicted that there will be something happening in the Nepal. There will be something happening in Bangladesh. It was all due to OSINT. People were analyzing the internal social media propagandas going on there. They were analyzing the internal hierarchy and internal conflicts going on the nation state, and they had already predicted something will happen. So that was something which acted as a credible intelligence. other nations, other people were prepared about it. Similarly, other nations are there like China, like USA, like something. They are also creating intelligence on this. There is geo intelligence, there is satellite intelligence, there is OSINT, there is something called field intelligence. All this is combined, and then the combined threat is prepared. So yes, OSINT plays a very very important role today in case of intelligence fusion and gathering. Now comes next. I'll show you a live demonstration of OSINT report preparation. What are the important parts of how we create a report? Okay, so first I'll just finish up through the theory very quickly, and then I'll show the practical report, how the report is there. I have not got any report of some client with some name or some details, because yes, of course the work is confidential, but yeah, I got you a sample report. What are the sample parts where should be in the report, and how you can prepare it? What are the important things where should be there? I'll definitely mention you. Now let's move further. Now, step by step example report preparation steps, let me tell you. Firstly, you have to define the objective and the topic. Now, whenever you are given an assignment, for example, you are given something to find about a person, a email ID or something, you have to be, defining a specific scope first. If the scope is given by the company, like you need to find only these kind of information or only these kind of thing, then it is a predefined thing. You'll definitely mention it. Else, if you have an open scope, you'll have to decide the scope according to your experience, that what are the possible things. Sometimes the client may also ask you that I need to gather such kind of information about this person, what all can be helpful. There you need to act as a consultant and help the client find out what can be the important things which will help him in his investigation, or help him in gaining insights about that person. So in that case, you will be telling the client what are all the possible things which you can give, which you can serve him, what all things he can get, what is the payment can be charged for it, what additional tools you require, how much time you require, everything then will be your call. So you should be actually aware of what are the market trends, how it is going on, something defining the scope of the investigation, time frame of the investigation, everything should be discussed prior to starting the task, and it should be mentioned in the report. Now then comes the data collection. Now, when you talk about the accurate data collection, see, there are two things I'll say you. One thing is like you are using GitHub based tools, open source tools that are definitely of use, because a lot of tools come on GitHub which give you actually very good results. So yes, GitHub tools are reliable, but I should also tell you something like professional tools, whether it is social. Anyone knows about Multigo? Anyone knows about Social Link? So Multigo is a professional tool which is being used. Multigo free version is also there, but professional tool is there. So whenever you are creating the report and you are talking about accurate data, there should be something which is from some proprietary tools also, like Social Link, or it should be from Recorded Future. It should be from Multigo, or any kind of other professional tools which are available to you. Plus, depending upon the open source and GitHub based tools. So whenever you're giving OSINT information, only GitHub or only a freeware tool should not be relied, because sometimes they may give some abrupt or wrong data also. Plus, you can also verify this data manually using manual OSINT intelligence, because OSINT is also two types. One is tool based and one is manual. In manual, you are actually using Google Docking. You are manually using image intelligence. And then you are manually searching out things using website, hunting databases, hunting data leaks, forums, where you are manually verifying the data. In automated, you are supplying the identifiers to the application like Multigo, like Social Link, and then it is using the AI and using the channels from where it is gathering intelligence information and showing to you. It is creating a complete spider web or a network. So channels like Shodan, like Spider Foot, like Multigo, these channels should be also used So if you are giving some kind of data, it should be verified from both the sources, open source manual intelligence plus the tool based intelligence. So if you are giving two or three sources of information, it is more legible and it is considered more accurate by the client. Okay. Now comes the organization of information. Now, for example, if you get the information about something, let me give you an example. There is a company. I get the name of a company. I have to find whether the company is a shell company or not. Now, how do I start? First of all, I'll need to check whether the company is really registered or not. I'll go to Zobacop. In Zobacop, I'll search the company details, right? In Zobacop, what I'll get the company establishment year, the company's address, sometimes the company's email. Then I get the director's name, right? Now I start digging about these things. Now, when I get the director's name, I try to check out if there are any other companies registered on the director's name. No, I get the PAN number of the company from there. I try to check out whether the PAN is real or not. I get the GST number of the company. I get to know what are the GST records against the company, or the GST number is real or not. Then I get to know the email of the company. I'll check if the email is there, any domain is connected, what the domain is, from which hosting provider or the domain provider it was bought, when it was bought. Okay, if the domain provider is some like freeware domain, then definitely I get to notice more suspicious. Okay, or if the company is using something like Gmail, then I try to manually find out the website of the company. If the website is existing, you'll browse through the website, you'll try to find out when the website was made. You are trying to find out any loopholes in the website using built with what the technology. If there are any bugs in the website, you are trying to exploit them and get the database from the site. Okay, if there is something connected to some financial records of the organization, then you try to dig into the financial records, some bank accounts, some UPI details. You try to get the intelligence on them. So if I have to find out that company is real or not, I'll have to focus on three things. Firstly, the financial records of the company. Second, the establishment records of the company, any registration or something. And third, the persons who are leading the company, who are the name of the company. I'll conduct OSINT investigation on that persons also. And conducting OSINT investigation on that persons will also give me insight what is the background of the person. For example, if a company is there whose paid capital is around 2 lakh rupees, and when I'm investigating about the person, I come to know that person is not so good. That person is, not so well built. He's someone who is dealing in hundreds or thousands of rupees, and you see a company which is having millions of turnover there. When you try to find the financial records of the company, the account of the company is made 10 days ago or 15 days ago, but it is shown on the website that the company has thousands of clients. You try to find any kind of receipt or any kind of, platforms where the company is selling any product, but that registration also do not match the data. The phone number of the company is there. You try to conduct OSINT on that. That phone number is also fake. The identity is fake. You know, so when you get all these details, you'll try to correlate things. You create a complete web. And organizing information is very, very important here. Like what information took you to which step, and then how you proceeded. Because when you mention it in the report, you cannot make a mess out of it. If you have a mess in your mind, you'll not be able to clearly write in the report. So you should be always clear and regularly noting down that I got first indicator this, from this I moved to second step, from this I moved to third step. Now the third step was something which validated my first hypothesis, and the first hypothesis has led to me the seventh. Now, when I try to investigate the 7 point, 7 point is also connected to 13, 13 is connected to 15. So, like this, we'll be able to create a proper chart. Now you know about the person, now you know about the company, now you know about their background, and then you'll be able to properly be write a report that this company was established on this date, the financial records were this, the company was registered on this person's name, the company is having this financial records, the company is having this legal records, so many legal strikes are on the company, this company has so many loans or something. So you'll be able to mention it properly in the report. And if you mention it like this, other person who is reading the report will be actually able to understand how you are trying to figure out the information. If you don't mention it like this, the other person may get confused on what is the credibility and what is the purpose of the information you are trying to give. Now next comes the drafting the report. including an introduction, body, conclusion is very, very important. So whenever you're drafting a report, it should not be just a one-page document where you're just pasting the screenshots and writing one-liners. That is something which is considered not professional in the domain. If you are giving any kind of reports, whether it be in cyber security, VAPT, forensic SOC, it involves properly writing a proper introduction of the case. Then what is the body, what are the all indicators you tried to find out on, what are the all tools you used, okay, what are the all timelines were they are used, all the things. And then in the end, the conclusion, what makes you conclude it. As an expert, you will be then writing your expert opinion, that as an expert I consider this information to be this much legible, and I tell that this person is this account is this company is fraud, this company is real, this company is this. You'll give your expert opinion, because whatever the information is there analyze, the client may not focus on the technical data sometimes, because client may not be so technical. The client will definitely focus on the conclusion you give. So in the end, the client will just ask you a question, whether this company is fraud or real, whether this person is this or not, whether he considered whether he established the communication with other person or not. So in the end, you'll have to give a definitive conclusion based on the data. And the conclusion can be a predictive conclusion also, but still there has to be a proper conclusion of whatever finding you have given. And ensure that whatever you are writing, it flows logically and supports the entire objective. So if you are giving something in the report, it should be something which you are logically able to explain if you are asked to explain. And the court asks for the report. If the report goes in the court, then again it should be more better, because in court definitely you will be cross questioned hundreds of times based on each and every finding you made, each and everything you mentioned. Because in court the work of the lawyer is just one thing. He'll be just trying to prove your report wrong or your findings wrong. There, to defend your finding, you should be actually aware of whatever you're writing and what base is uh, behind the statement you are making. If you are able to ask to produce the evidence, you can produce the evidence in the base based on which you have written something in the report. So if it is going in the court, then you should be more cautious. And usually there are cases where the reports go in the court, OSINT reports also sometimes, and intelligence reports also, along with forensic reports. So there can be something where you'll need to be extra cautious. Next comes reviewing and editing. Now, reviewing of the report is very, very important, because when you are making a report, there can be mistakes, there can be technical errors, there can be spelling errors, physical errors. So what you'll have to do, you need to actually find out your report is proper or not. For that, your report should be reviewed by some other person, and the review should be which is judgment based, which is unbiased and non-judgment based. So other person should not judge you according to your capability and then review your report. And the other person should not have a bias about the person or the entity on which the OSINT is done. The report should be completely free of any kind of judgment and bias. It should be reviewed very freely and told upon that what are the shortcomings in the report, what should be added. Okay. And make sure exhibits are definitely in the report. Exhibit means there are always the POCs, proof of concept, and the screenshots you are giving there. Now, last is finalize your submission. Finalizing the report and preparing it for submission is the most important thing. Make sure it adheres to the guidelines given by your client. If the client says, I don't want information using this, or I don't want information about this thing, please do not mention in the report. Be clear about what was asked. Mention that only as your main findings. Other things can be included in the additional findings. Because if the client is not getting whatever the main finding he wanted in the report, your report will obviously not qualify. You can give additional information what you got, but if you are not able to give the crux which the client wants, definitely your reports will fail down somewhere. So your report should have two parts: one, the main finding which the client has asked, and the second thing, which are the additional findings what you got along with that. So additional findings can make you eligible for some extra bonuses based on your work, if it is legible. But yeah, if the main finding is pending, then your payment will definitely be cut short. So that was the conclusion and key takeaway, okay, for today. And now we'll try to browse on the actual report, how it works. Okay, so I am opening the sample of a report, which you can see here on the screen. So this is a sample OSINT report which is here. Okay, you can mention the organization name here. Sometime, if possible, the organization letterhead, if provided to you, the reports are sometime made on the letterhead of the organization. So here will be the organization details. In backend, you can sometimes also try to include the watermark of the organization. So example, if I write here and I mention the watermark, like, so the report sometimes can be watermarked also. Watermark is usually done to make sure there is no piracy in the report. If the report is watermarked, it gives more eligibility. So the organization which we are giving the report, their watermark can be also put, and it should be always like this. Okay, it should not be more darker than this. Then comes the second thing: the report should be made in a way so that when filed, law enforcement officers can easily understand the incident, evidence, and context of the online misconduct investigation, that is harassment, non-consensual content, harmful social media activity, or anything. Now, why I'm telling you to file this report? Many of you must be thinking to work with police officials, I guess. Many of you must be thinking to work with law enforcement agencies, and many of you may be also thinking to become cyber volunteers. So MHE has launched a program which is cyber volunteer program, where you can register on cybercrime.gov.in as a cyber volunteer, right? Now, when you register as a cyber volunteer, police verifies you and you are the part of cyber volunteer program. There, when you are giving information to the police, usually what people do, they just give the screenshots and just write a few lines about it and post it on the platform. No response comes to it, never any response comes to it. Similarly, people are also reporting any kind of bugs or misconduct or anything, any online fraud or something. So sometimes no response comes back when you are mailing the information or something. Why? Because whenever you're giving the information to some department or whenever you're giving information to law enforcement, it should always be in a structured manner, because that report, that thing, that document will not be just read by some person who is receiving it. It will go forward in the department, and the department should actually be able to verify and reproduce whatever information you give. So the more detailed you are in your report, the more detailed way you mention how you got the information, you mention the sources of the information, more eligible your report becomes for verification, because the organization may then later verify also what was the source of information. Have found true, then your report may be considered for evaluation. So yes, this is very very important, where you need to make your report properly acceptable. Now comes next. The first is case information. Now, case information includes your name, your designation, plus sometimes if you are giving independent report, it should also include your qualification. For example, I write here my designation slash qualification. Now, why I mention this? If I mention this, if my report is usually not acceptable and the organization does not know me, if I mention my designation and qualification, like if I'm a seasoned cybersecurity expert or a seasoned cybersecurity investigator, I am someone who is technically like BTech, MTech, I'm working with this department, I'm certified in OSINT, I'm certified in I'm CA certified, I'm having some specific skills, that makes my report more eligible sometimes. So mentioning your designation and qualification is sometimes better, which actually gives more eligibility to your report. Then the date of report creation, it should be clear. Okay, because the day you created the report, it should be very very important. Then comes the incident summary. Now incident summary means if you are given the summary by the organization, then it is good. If you are not given the summary, then you should manually write it. So here is what type it falls in. Like it is harassment, it is non-consensual sexual content posted on Instagram, or it is some kind of illegal platform or channel of Telegram which is selling drugs, which is selling bank accounts, which is selling some kind of pornographic material. you have found it out and now you want to report to law enforcement. So you should be clear about what type of misconduct you are reporting, what kind of thing you are investigating, or it is some individual profiling. You are creating a profile of some individual who is a suspicious individual, or you are trying to investigate some shell company or something. So then should be the brief description on which date you found a comment made on this platform, or you found the account, how you found the information, how you got to know about the information. That should be mentioned clearly. And some people may think here that why should we mention the source, we should refrain from mentioning it. But no, it is very very important, because tomorrow if your report becomes eligible, you may be questioned upon from where you got to know about this. Or if this is reported by some other person also, or the organization or the department is already behind this thing, they may definitely question you. Who are the one, how you got to know about it, how you got connected to this group, how you got connected to this organization, how you got connected to this account. So you should be clearly mentioning how you came across this, what was the reason you were there, and what made you think, or what made you suspicious about this thing, what was the reason you started investigating it. That should be clearly mentioned. Okay, and screenshots and timestamps sometimes should be clear. Like when you're taking the screenshot, you should mention that on this day, on this date I found this. Because sometimes there may be the cases where the content which you're talking about may be deleted later. So if the law enforcement need to find out the information using notices from the social media platforms, or they need to find out the information from the information service provider using nodal officers, they may give notices to them based on times and dates. So the time and date of discovery of the incident, and date and time of the finding out of the content with proper information, proper website, proper phone number, proper should be mentioned. Okay, and it should be highlighted properly. Then comes the evidence log. What are all the evidences you got? Like evidence one. Then what are the type of evidence, whether it is a photograph, whether it is a phone number, whether it is some, what is the description of it, how you got to know about it. Then okay, let me just move this into the next page only so that I explain you better. Yeah, so what is the description, then what is the source. Now here the source, if there are multiple sources, mention them in a series 1 2 3 4 5. For example, Instagram post from where I got to know, Facebook account, Snapchat ID. Okay, you created a sock puppet account and you chatted with that person, you did some communication with that person, there he revealed something. So the screenshots, what account you use as a sock puppet, what account he was communicating with, all should be mentioned clearly. Screenshots of that. Now that screenshot should not be pasted here. The screenshot should be pasted back here, where you'll start a new part in your report, and the new part will be from new page, where you will mention here exhibit 1. For example, you go here and you mention down here refers to para 3, refers to para 3.1. So the person, and here you mention again in this place exhibit 1. This is the professional way of mentioning it. If you paste the photographs there, sometimes it looks messy and the person will not be able to understand. If you mention it in a proper formative formal manner, the report will become eligible. Here you can mention all the screenshot, then write a comment also about it. For example, account used to post vulgar content. Then you mention here details of other accounts of person. Then you mention on the next page, screenshots of his online activity. So things should be like this in a structured manner. Now, date and time, when you did the investigation, when you find it out. Now, why again? When you took the screenshot and when you captured this information, that time it may be available on the internet, later it may be deleted. So if the archival content or the source of information is tomorrow verified later, after some time when the information is not available on the net, if the date and timestamps are clearly visible, that will be better. And I will always request you whenever you are taking screenshots, usually use some tools which are actually mentioning the date and timestamp. So many of the tool comes, one of them is Lightshot, and many of the other tools are there which are actually allowing you to mention the date and timestamp whenever you are capturing some screenshots. So whenever you capture some screenshot or something, date and time should be visible on that, and it should be geotag kind of date and time, so that you get so that the other person get to know that yes, it was captured in real time. Okay, and always refrain from capturing the entire screen whenever you are taking screenshot. Always capture a specific area. Some people may capture the entire screen, which may also reveal about your device. So try to be as much as secretive you are. Okay, never capture the entire screen. Always keep the proper zoom of the content whenever you are taking the screenshots. Information should be clearly visible. It should not be blur or something. Okay, because maybe you capture the information today, tomorrow it may not be available. And always try to keep a archival of the information. For example, if it is some web page, try to download the web page and keep it, or try to archive the information in some form. If there is some Facebook account, try to use a OSINT or a forensic tool where you are able to dump the data of the account or a website. Like FOI is a tool, forensic acquisition of website, which is actually allowing you to dump the entire website forensically. Or a magnet web artifact capturer is there. Magnet Axiom is a tool. It's free tool is there. Magnet web artifact capturer, which is actually allowing you to dump the entire site. So if the website and there is some eligible information, I can dump the entire site using that tool, and the website will be saved as a web page. If, actually, I can also tomorrow load that using the server of Magnet, and I can collect as much information available. So if there is some kind of web-based information, the information is properly secured with me. Okay, so these tools we are usually using in forensics because yes, we know the criminal may delete the information later. So because in court we need to present these evidences later if required. So we are actually using these methods. Okay. Now here you can mention the notes. Now what are the examiner notes? Examiner notes are basically that what inference you are making from this information. Like for example, this information gives me inference that the user wife name is this, or the user has one child, the user goes to gym every day on this time, or whatever information you are usually getting it from it, whatever your inferences of the information, you should mention it here, because whenever the person will be reading the exhibit, the evidence, and he goes there and checks the photo, sometimes he may not understand the context. And so better than calling you and getting you on the call and asking you the purpose of it, if you mention it clearly here in the notes, the person will actually come to know that what is the person, what is the purpose of mentioning it here, and what the other person is trying to say. Okay. Next comes the finding and analysis. Now, here was, all the exhibits. Now comes the findings in a structured manner. Like the account, this posted abusive content directed at this. Evidence suggests that repeated activity was done. Okay, the screenshots are mentioned at appendix A. You can mention the, now what are appendices? Whenever you are mentioning the report, in report, sometime you can physically, if you are physically sending the reports, or you're digitally also sending the report, you may send some kind of pages also. Like for example, any documents you are getting or any kind of bills you are getting, that may be attached as appendixes, like appendix A, appendix B, appendix C, appendix C. So you'll mention here, like see the additional screenshots at appendix A. So after the exhibits are over, after the report is over, that document can be added here. as appendix A, which will be bill of users or the person's car, mentioning his RC and vehicle number or something like that. Okay, so this appendix A, why it is given, that if someone wants to verify any document which you are getting physically from some site or something, or any kind of bill or any kind of thing you are getting, that can be there. Instead of pasting the screenshot, if you are getting the document or something, that document can be attached with the report as appendixes. Okay, and the next is the if the account is public, so evidence could be independently verified at time of collection. Now you will mention your verdict here. Since this thing was there, so the information was verified, or the since the same information was supplied using Multigo and phone Infoga, the information was verified, and yes, it was concluded. And the last is your opinion that whatever the company seems to be fake, the company seems to be a shell company, the harassment of the person should looks like targeted and personal, or the business email compromise which occurred with the company was kind of a spear phishing attack. Okay, now the last one is actions taken. Now what action can be taken by the agency based on the information you are giving? The account should be taken down, the user activity should be investigated, the user identity should be investigated, and a case can be filed on him against nudity or posting sexual content, or the user account it may be connected to other frauds, and these other frauds can be investigated. Okay, so now you can give the like law enforcement organization hint also, that whatever information you are giving, based on that, what all can be done. Because sometimes, law enforcement, especially police, they don't know what to do with the information. They may treat it just as a piece of paper and may fly it like an aeroplane. I'm honestly telling it, I have to be blunt for this, because it happens many times. Very good information is given by the OSINT people, and many times by the students, but actually the police or law enforcement does not know what to do with it. They don't know what is the purpose of information. So it goes like just a piece of paper flying in the air. So you should also mention here why you are giving this information. What is the purpose of telling this to someone? What can be done from it? What can be actions taken from it? So that if they are unaware of it, they become aware of it, and they may pass it further to something. Okay, like if say there is drug kind of information, you may mention here raids can be conducted on these places, and these persons may be involved in drug trafficking, so the police can investigate for this. Or these accounts are there where bank accounts are being sold, police should investigate it. You may get links to many cybercrime, cyber criminals who are buying accounts from here. A lot of users were found here who are posting nude content. So any pornographic platform or any pornographic forum where illegally videos are being supplied or downloaded, you may get to about it. Any illegal studios may be discovered where the porns are being shooted down. So all these things you will need to mention there, what your information is trying to bring out and what possible actions can be taken on it. Okay, and the last comes the list of appendixes what you have attached, like archive URLs for all collected links, screenshots of all the files, okay, or the list of files you have attached, so that sometimes whenever you are attaching some manual files, something may not go missing. So if the person is getting a printout of only the first page and not taking the printout of other pages, the reader once who is reading may know that there are additional pages or additional screenshot or additional things also attached with the report. So something does not get missed. That's why we are mentioning it in the main report, that I have also attached the evidences with it. You should take care of evidences also. Okay, and in the end, your name, your date, and your signature. Yes, the signature should be definitely there. Okay, just don't rely on the digital signature. Always physically sign the report, scan it, and then give it. and if the organization is making it, there should be the stamp of organization also giving it. Okay, so this is the basic structure of the report. Now some people may find it boring, some people may find it very boring. I know, because the reason is, this is something which is not taught. Many people do not teach it, and this is something which is left on the individuals how they want to do it. Okay, but let me tell you, if you are working in corporate as a OSINT analyst, if you are working in any organization, government organization, as a OSINT analyst, this is always required from you, that you know how to create professional reports. So creating professional reports is also very, very important, because whatever you have investigated, as a technical people, we are very bad at expressing things. We know what we have investigated, but expression is the most important form, because if you do not bring it on the paper, it will not reach the other people what you are trying to convey. And believe me, in law enforcement, in police, in any kind of corporate, paper speaks a lot. So the more detailed and good your report is, more better your credibility will be considered, because whatever OSINT work you are doing, that is just limited to you. No one else is going to know it. The other person is going to just see the piece of paper, the report which you are making. So more descriptive and more better, more structure your report is, the more better your work will be considered. So that was all today. And if you have any doubts or questions, you can ask. Okay.
Thank you so much, Yugal sir, for this amazing session. And I hope all the audience enjoyed the session and learned a lot from this.
And before going, just I'll say you one thing only. OSINT is a very good art, very powerful art, which you can use for very good operations. And since I am working with Government of India, we are usually using OSINT a lot for uncovering many things. We are conducting a lot of operations. We are conducting a lot of recon missions based on this OSINT only. So yes, it is a very big art. Specific departments are being made in government for this. Specific tools are being supplied. Specific individuals are hired. They are trained. Certifications are given based on this. So yes, it is a very powerful work, and it can lead you into very integrate roles in the organization. Not only VAPT, not only SOC, not only forensic is important. OSINT is also very, very important. It's the most important pillar of threat intelligence in today's world. So yes, if you focus on your skills, I don't know about the technical part, what you learned, about how many tools you learned or not. But I'll just give you one thing. OSINT is all about practicing and doing it yourself. Do it yourself. The more you do, the more you learn, because other fields can be done from a course. OSINT is an art. You'll have to develop your skills here, and everyone has their own style. Let me tell you, no two people can teach you properly or perfectly. Everyone has their own style, everyone has their own way of thinking. So it's all about how you interpret things, think things, and how you get into conclusions. So before going, I'll just say you one thing. Whatever you learn from the course, take it as a basic, and then try to develop your skills. You'll get a lot of courses regarding it, you'll get a lot of platforms, you'll get a lot of resources. Build your skills and make sure you are always updated, because this is some field where you need to be updated every day. If you even leave something for 2 days, it may change completely. So every day you need to be updated. Keep updated yourself, keep learning new tools. With time the technology will change, with time the techniques will change, but the base will always remain same. You have to hunt something which is available. And yes, to find something, you should actually be sure about whatever you are finding out. So whether something exists or not, that is only what is the game here.
Sir, somebody is asking how many pages should be there in the report.
See, let me tell you, report does not have any specific pages. Like if I tell you about VAPT report, forensic report, OSINT report, any kind of report, it can be from 2 pages to 300 pages also. I have also created report which are 60, 60, 80, 80, 150 pages. It depends upon the type of work you are doing. If you have got so much information. Why to leave it? And make sure always, I'll give you a tip, never think this information is less valuable and other information is more valuable. Whatever you got it mentioned, just highlight the information which is more credible. Some less credible information like 50%, you are sure about it, mention it little bit lower, and 20% mention that also, mention everything, because you never know what information is of which use. So if you get a lot of information, if you are doing it from long time, you can even make reports of 200 to 300 pages. And the exhibits you are mentioning there, screenshots you are making there, the report can go for any number. It's not some defined page.
Sir, next out is how to get a job like with the government in the OSINT or cybersecurity field.
Yes. How to get a job with government in cybersecurity or field for OSINT? For that, I'll give you two things. Firstly, just start building your skills and try to just recon on something unusual which is going on social media platforms. Like something wrong is going on Instagram, you find it out. Okay, now you discover 10 accounts like this. Now you will create a pattern. Always try to create patterns. Once you create a pattern, try to post it to some police department, try to post it to some government department, to some body, to certain, if you are finding any kind of websites which are against nation, which are some threat actors, or some data is leaked about some organization, some government organization, try to inform them. Sometimes you may be heard, sometimes you may not heard, so always focus on giving it to multiple agencies. You may get call from sometimes. Secondly, government is also taking out internships in cybersecurity. Go for those internships. Okay. And if you are having credible information, if you give good information, definitely government will contact you. OSINT is something where you are hired based on your skill. No certification, no degree will get you a job. You are just being hired on your skills. I have seen people who are not having any BTech degree, who are not having any technical degree, they are getting jobs in government. And there are people who are PhD also, who are doing nothing, just sitting idle. So yes, you have to polish your skills. And if you want to get in government, there are ways, like you approach any police department, you approach any legal department, show them your skills. So within this area, there are X number of drug brackets. I have discovered them. These are the reports about it. These are the evidences about it. If you want me to help you more further in this, I can help you out. And make sure, if you give them good information, they will definitely reach you out. Let me tell you, police is usually very, very interested in OSINT because it reduces their manual work. They don't need to go and verify things manually, especially in cyber crimes. The cyber criminals are there, police are getting phone numbers, the police are getting Instagram accounts, the police are getting social media accounts. The intermediary agencies never give their data. If you think WhatsApp is going to give the data, Facebook is going to give the data to the police, forget it. It takes a lot of time. Now, police needs immediate action to act upon. What they will do, for example, there is a matter which was like some riots were there on Khalistan. So yes, the my state police immediately contacted me themselves that there is something Khalistan riots going on here. We need information about it. They gave me some accounts. They gave me something. I I did OSINT on them, give them some leads. Based on leads, they acted. Then they gave me some more information. So yes, always be connected to your local police. Always be connected to your local intelligence department. There is a department called local intelligence unit. There is a social media cell in the local police. There is a department in the police which is like a special branch, special STF or something, which actually works on this intelligence department. Always be connected to them, give them some information. But let me tell you, a universal rule: to call the fish in the bait, you'll have to give something. You'll definitely need to put some food to call the fish into your net. So yes, you'll need to give some credible information to them so that they actually believe you. And once they believe you, then you'll definitely get the work. So firstly, it will be your effort that you find out what all things are going in your area, analyze the patterns, analyze the accounts, analyze the activities. Based on that, create a map, create something, give it to them, and they know that they are working on it, so they will definitely act on it. And if required, you can also meet the regulatory bodies of your area, like you can meet the DCP crime, or you can meet officers, higher officers in your department, and mention them. So that's how during my OSINT, discovered that these all things are going in the department. Some Telegram channels are there which are doing this, which are doing that. I tried to investigate on them. I could gather this all information, but I cannot do anything on it without your support. So definitely I'll need your support. And if you need my support in discovering more information, I'll definitely be very happy to help with you. And I'm sure they will definitely call you upon. So you'll have to approach them.
Thank you, sir. The next question is how not to breach the person's privacy while performing OSINT, like the victim privacy.
See, to not breach the victim's privacy, try to be secretive. Whatever you're getting the data, just give it to the required agency. I told you now, whenever you're getting the data, it should go to just to the legible person. Like if it has to go to the police, if it has to go to the some organization, just give it to them. And secondly, use proper privacy protocols firstly for yourself. Yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention. Always use VPN, always use encrypted channels, always use some devices where you don't keep your personal data, or use VMs for doing this, because sometimes you may also end up hooking yourself, because some websites, some forums are just honey traps or honey pots, where you will be trapped. Actually, you think that you are gathering intelligence of some other person, but you are actually the part of intelligence there. The other person then starts digging you. So yes, just be aware of it before getting into the water. Just make sure you have all the gadgets to prevent you from anything. And the second thing is, as you said that you don't want to breach person's privacy, so always try to have a limit. Like, you don't have to hack some systems for getting this information. This information OSINT is practically openly available. And secondly, if there is some very very sensitive information, like some, you got some news about some person, you got some very very sensitive information like some person's very private data, make sure if it has some work to do with it. If that data is illegal about that person, always reach out police and law enforcement and give it to them, and only try to mention the required officials about it. Do not share it anywhere else. If it is something which is being leaked about some person and some person doesn't know, you should think that the person should be informed. Try to inform the person that something about you is there, and always try to mention the proper sources, because in that case you can be counter trapped that you tried to do it. So always try to mention the proper sources, where from where it came, how it came.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for the session, and I hope there are no doubt anymore. Being at you. Is tracking with VPN possible even in the slight? So is tracking with VPN possible even in the slightest way?
Yes, sometimes it is possible. That's why it is always it is always considered that you should use some kind of live OSs for doing this, or you should always use some VMs. And whenever you're using VMs, also do not use NAT. Always try to use dedicated network cards for that. Okay. Always keep your MAC randomized. If you are using if you're doing normal OSINT, then there is no problem. But if you're doing some specific OSINT and you know the target on which you are doing OSINT is actually some defiable target, if he's involved in some big crimes, if he's some big buddy, you know about it already, he's something into cyber, you can be backtracked, then you should definitely use some things like proxy chains. You should definitely use some Tor networks. For using that, you should definitely go through some secure encrypted channel where you're not and make sure. And I'll say again, do not keep your personal data whenever you are doing any OSINT. Do not try to do it from your personal IDs. Always keep your personal information separate from the OSINT which you are doing. You should have a different fake ID, a different profile for that instead of your actual profile.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for this session. And I hope everyone's doubt has been covered. Mm. Yes, sir. All the doubts has been covered. Thank you so much. To all the audience who are willing to learn more, they can check out the module on MKITOS site. Moderators will share the link in the live chat.
And if you still have doubt, you can ask. No problem.
Okay, I see one question here. Does IB, CIE, CBI, NIA recruit for cyber roles? Yes, they recruit it. Although you'll have to go through a proper recruitment process, like IB has IB DCIO, Deputy Central Intelligence Officer, technical. So it's a specific opening which is coming up just for the technical roles. Similarly, NIA also posts some technical roles. NIA also hires through SSC, and it also hires specifically to technical role. Although this technical opening is very rare. CBI also have a specific exam where they are publishing technical openings. Then Indian Army also has a technical exam, like through Territorial Army, Indian Army is hiring cyber warfare wing. So that is also a specific exam which you'll have to give. There is a government exam which is completely technical. It may also involve some general knowledge, some basic logic, or reasoning and something. Then a technical CTF kind of thing, or a practical demonstration of your skills, and then the interview. And if you pass all of them, you can definitely be the part of their technical division. So yes, specific channels are there where they are hiring it. In fact, police has also started taking out posts for sub inspector and inspector technical based on the degrees. So now, if you are a BTech or MTech, you can definitely apply for technical roles, cyber roles in sub inspector and inspector. Specifically, UP police has done it the first, and other states are now also adopting it. And if you want to become a gazetted officer, you can go for Indian Engineering Services. Okay, and you can go for IPS to technical roles, where you'll be then definitely be hired into cyber roles. So that's all for today from my side. Thank you for being here. And if anyone has any doubt, you can definitely connect me on LinkedIn. You can find me out from the name of Cyber UB on LinkedIn and Google. You can definitely ask me any doubts. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you,
Jai
sir.
Hind.
Jai Hind. Before we share the quiz link, like there are some things we need to mention. As we said that the eligibility list will be coming up soon, and after that the final exam. So talking about the final exam, the eligibility list will be on the 6th of October, and we will conducting the test on 12th of October. The first part would be a quiz, and the second part would be a practical exam where you would have to make a report. So those who will be eligible in the eligible list, they will be able to appear in the exam and get a completion certificate on successfully completing the quiz. If you don't submit the quiz, you will not get the completion certificate. And now the next part, talking about the report part, the practical will be, the timings will be shared. In that you will have to solve some certain questions and the task and make a proper report. If the report clears our cutoff, then you will be eligible for the achiever certificate. Only if you clear the test. Completion certificate will only be given if you submit the quiz, and achiever certificate will only be given if you submit both the quiz and the test. Thank you. And the quiz link is now should be visible on your screen. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the chat.